Hi, you're watching Floyd Steinberg's YouTube channel, and here's how to use a breath controller with the Novation PEAK. Here we go. Okay, for this to work, depending on your breath controller, you might need a USB MIDI host, because the EWI has a USB connector and the Novation PEAK has the 5-pin MIDI in, so I'm going to connect this by using this USB MIDI host. So yeah, we can use the USB instrument on the 5-pin instrument. You can also use a Raspberry Pi to do this, and then you need this standard MIDI interface. I have a video on my channel showing how to set this up, and I'll also put the links to these two devices in the description of this video. Okay, this is the PEAK, so let's begin by initializing the patch, pressing this button over here. So initialize, and now we have a saw wave. And okay, so the first thing you want to do is to turn the volume of all the 3 oscillators down to 0, because you aren't measuring velocity here, but breath pressure. The breath pressure will control the volume of your oscillators and not the velocity. So, okay, now, so I've turned all the way down. There's no audible sound here, so now let's go into the mod matrix by pressing this button and then press this button, and now we'll select the breath controller here. And the destination for the breath controller should be the volume of the first oscillator, oscillator 1 level, and the depth should be all the way up. And now you should be able to control the volume of this oscillator with a breath controller. Alright, so now let's repeat this process for all the oscillators. Alright, now let's slightly detune our oscillators. Now let's listen. Alright, this sounds quite nice. So now I want to sound a little bit like a woodwind instrument, so let's switch this to square waves. And also I want to adjust the octaves here a little bit. Alright, the next thing I'm going to do is to add a little bit of frequency modulation on the 2nd to 3rd oscillator. So there's a mod matrix rule here. Let's once again use the breath pedal and select frequency modulation from oscillator 2 to oscillator 3, and the depth adjust to your liking. Also adjust the tuning a little bit. Alright, and if you want to, you can also adjust the shapes. Okay, one thing I also like to do is to introduce some noise depending on breath pressure. So once again, select the breath pedal here, and then let's select the noise level as a destination. And the greater the air pressure is, the higher the noise level, but don't overdo it. Okay, like this. And the next thing we want to do is to introduce the filter. So let's adjust this manually first. Okay, let's begin with this value, and then we want to adjust the filter frequency depending on breath pressure. So once again, set the destination to the filter frequency and now adjust to your liking. So now the tone will be softer if the breath pressure is lower, and the tone will be brighter or more aggressive if you are using this in a strong manner. All right. So next thing is perhaps we also use the filter drive a little bit. So once again, you select the destination, breath pedal, and let's see, we've got the filter drive and distortion here, and let's listen to this. Let's also use the distortion. That's selected as a destination. So one more entry. And here's the filter drive, or filter distortion. Okay. So let's tune this all the way down and adjust the depth. All right, and now let's add some effects. A little bit of chorus. Okay, I think that's it. This should do. You got an impression how to use this. There are plenty of other options you could use. For example, if I bite on this mouthpiece here, I could use that as an expression pedal and control LFO speed and things. There's a lot of options here, but the most important thing is always begin with all the oscillators levels set to 0. And that's it for today. If you found this interesting, please consider subscribing to my channel. And as always, thanks for watching and see you next week. Bye bye.